up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Welcome everybody. It's Saturday, and you know what that means, folks. Nothing better than a Saturday afternoon and evening if you're over there in the UK than the GTRC GT4 Championship. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The big series is live on your screens right now in your homes. Welcome. Hope everybody's having a fantastic start to their Februarys. It's the first weekend of the month. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, gentlemen. Make sure you guys get on it. Don't leave the missus hanging now. We hope everybody's doing fantastic. So, GT4 series. This is the Pro Division, hosted by none other than GT45 Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. So, we have a full packed grid here tonight. This is going to be awesome. So, round 3, ladies and gentlemen, is at, as you can see, Trial Mountain. We're in the Americas here this week, and the crews have loaded up the trailers. They've driven their trucks all the way down to Trial Mountain Circuit here in the central eastern part of the United States of America. And we're going to do some racing in the mountains today. So the air's a little bit thin up here. The track's going to be a little bit cooler up here. It's going to be interesting to see how grippy these race cars are around the racetrack. Now, this is the Team Series. Pro-Am Division is being broadcast right now live on Nolander Gaming over on Facebook. So if you want to see how your favorite Pro-Am driver or your favorite Pro driver's teammate is doing in the Pro-Am Division, head on over to Nolander Gaming on Facebook and take a look. So, racing medium tires are the only tires allowed to be used here today. These drivers can use as many sets of medium tires as they want, but they're only allowed to use the racing mediums. It is 3 times tire wear and 3 times fuel consumption, so it will require a pit stop here today. How many pit stops? That's to be determined. We'll talk about that in a second. This is a team manufacturer series, so we will not see 2 of the same cars on this racetrack today unless a substitute driver is filling in. With that being said, the substitute driver has a specified car to use for the season, and no matter which driver they're replacing, that will be the car that they race in for the season, and that driver's said points do not count towards the team manufacturer standings. They are, however, developing their own points of substitute drivers, so they are still gaining points for, of course, the individual championship series for themselves. So we do have one spare, it looks like, here on track today, and just a full grid, so it's fantastic to see. And we're not going to lead you in quite yet. Qualifying's 4 minutes underway, and these guys are pretty on the ball and on time here. So we have just a packed field, lots of fast names in this field. Some new competitors, which we'll talk about here when qualifying goes underway as well. So hope everybody's looking forward to this. This is going to be a crazy day of racing. 15 cars on Trial Mountain battling it out for GTRC, GT4 Championship supremacy here at round 3. Who's going to stand on the podium tonight? We'll let you guys decide, obviously, after we show you guys the driver's list. So let me know what you guys thought of the intro video there as well. Huge credit to Gtrc over on YouTube. We'll have to get that link posted in for everybody to go check out the stuff this guy does. He takes his time when he can, and he makes these awesome little intro videos for GT45 Gaming and the leagues that we work with here. So huge love to him. And the community is strong in the sim racing community, and we appreciate all the volunteer work that goes into making these events here that we're watching right now kick off on time live every week. So appreciate everybody. Got Michael coming in with that thumbs up as well. So I mean, without further delay, we're going to switch you over, but with a little bit of delay. Strategy, let's talk strategy. Now, I've done a little bit of testing for this race. Even though I'm not racing the race, I am helping some of the drivers train for some of these races, as of course I have special interest in a couple of the drivers here participating this season, and we're not going to really say too much more than that right now, but doing some work, of course, with some of the community drivers, helping them figure out the track, maybe find a little bit of time with the car they're driving, etc. So I have a pretty good idea what we could expect here. Now, two-stop strategy is obviously feasible. It's always feasible if you just want to run the car right out and just put down crazy lap times and be faster than everybody else. That a two-stop could be feasible here, but I mean, I think you're looking at about a 47-second pit delta for tires and fuel here, of course, with the pit lane travel distance, etc., etc. So a two-stop could or could not do you any good. Depends where you come out, depends on traffic, depends on mistakes. Of course, Trial Mountains is not a very forgiving racetrack, so we'll see that here as the race progresses, I'm sure. The one-stop strategy, you're looking to go about 15 to 17 laps on fuel preferably, and have a little bit of a shorter tire stint on the second one with a little bit of a lighter race car ideally, to really optimize on that final stint. Now, slipstream will factor in a little bit here in this race. There are a couple of really long runs on this racetrack where slipstream is going to benefit. You can sip a little bit of fuel in that situation as well. And lots of places to really make moves here. Just smart decision making. There's a couple sectors here where it's not ideal, but for the most part, it's a pretty good racing racetrack. It is a fictional racetrack, of course, ladies and gentlemen, here produced by Polyphony Digital from Gran Turismo 7. And I hope we're all getting ready to settle in, because qualifying starts here very shortly. So let's jump on with Tattooed Freak here, who's on track in that Jaguar right now. And we're going to flip you guys to the big screen. Welcome in, everybody. Hope we're all having a great day. Not sure why that's there. That's a little bizarre, but we'll go with it. We're just going to make sure. Everything's working properly. Screen. What? Alright, is the game sound coming through really good, everybody? There's a weird thing on my OBS right now. I don't know what it's done, but as long as it's working good, I'm happy. Oh, there's the capture right there. Okay. Alright, fantastic. Everything's looking fantastic. So, these guys are just, there we go. The lobby's been reset. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go. So, Michael coming in with that thumbs up. Hey, how you doing, Irene? Yep, he says. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's check it out here. So, hey, boo. How's it going, Bipolar? Larry, hey, sounds good. Fantastic. Alright, guys, sorry. I'm just having a little panic moment here. I haven't streamed in a few days, and OBS is doing something weird there, but we're good. So there we go. We got a full grid, ladies and gentlemen. What can you ask for but full grids? Well, we got full grid here today, so let's go through our drivers list here. This is our Pro division, ladies and gentlemen. Again, our Pro-Am division is being live broadcast live by Nolander Gaming over on Facebook as well. So if you want to check out how the Pro-Am teammates are doing here today as well, head over to Nolander Gaming, say hi, and well, let me know who's winning over there. All right. So let's start right up front here. It looks like Bufu Shidara is leading the pack out here. So let's jump on Bufu Shidara here. And then once these guys settle in on the live timing, we'll go through the field and introduce you to all our drivers on track. We have some new faces here today. So it's going to be interesting to see how they add to the intensity of this pro division. And yeah. It's going to be fun. It's lovely to see all the different cars racing. This is what sim racing is all about. This is what it's designed for. It's not designed to have one specific car racing because that's the best car on the track. We're putting all the cars up against each other. Now, there are some restrictions in the series. We have banned the front-wheel drive cars and all four-wheel drive cars. And we have also banned the GTR for this season. And that's just due to those cars being just that much better on BOP settings than the rest of the manufacturers. So we have eliminated some of the cars, but for the most part, still very large manufacturers field left to choose from in these GT4s, and we're really seeing it here. So we haven't had that live timing kick in quite properly yet, so we're just going to stay on with Bufu Shidara here for the time being. We do know that he's the first driver out on track, and this is just their out lap, ladies and gentlemen, which means they're using this lap just to warm tires up, maybe refine a braking point, all these kinds of things before they come into that, what we like to call a hot lap, their qualifying laps. So, well, everybody coming through here, they're just coming through the final sector right now. It's a run through the start-finish line. We're coming into turns 1 and 2. Let's jump on board with Bufu Shidara, and we'll do a quick lap around Trial Mountain here, and then we'll go check out our qualifying time. So it is officially qualifying now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see, I think, 4 hot laps here from these guys. So this is a fairly high-speed corner here. You're just going to do a little lift to get rotation. Back on the throttle to settle the car. A little lift up the hill. Back on the throttle. Try to catch as much of this apex and run all that track out. Coming in at the shadow, you're going to start thinking about braking down to 3rd gear here. And you're just going to catch that apron and back on the throttle. Sweep out up the hill wide. Move back to the left side. At this sign, you're on your brakes down into 2nd gear for rotation. And just take it all the way across. Try not to catch that wall. It'll slow you down. Tuck into the left. Just a little lift and a little turn in here. Downshift to 3rd gear. We're going to roll through. You want to try and keep to the right side of the tunnel. Lift off. Tuck into the downhill sector. As soon as you're downhill, on the gas. Follow that momentum through. Best exit you can get for this very long run here at this back straightaway through this tunnel sector here. Very, very lengthy straightaway, so you need an absolutely great run coming into that tunnel, and that undulating corner really is key to it. So far, Bufu Shidara having a very solid lap here to start qualifying off today. Coming here at the sign, you're going to start thinking about braking, going to come down, you're going to tuck in close to this rock, ride it out, and then back on the throttle and take it all the way out wide. From there, you're going to sweep a little to the left side. We're going to come into this right apron, and it's just straight lining this S corner. At the top of the hill, you're letting off the gas, getting ready to brake. You just want to catch this apron, roll through, and back on the gas as quickly as possible. You're going to come down the hill, move to the right side. Right here, you're starting to think about braking. You want to catch this last apex and just hammer on the throttle on apex. Take it all the way across. We're going to stay on the right-hand side here, and we're going to set up for this chicane. You're going to be braking about the midway point, so about here we're braking down into 2nd, 1st for some cars. Going to catch this corner, ride it out a little bit over that line, and set up this final run on the gas hard. You got to watch that wall. It'll slow your momentum down. A great lap here by Bufu Shidara at Trial Mountain, ladies and gentlemen. And it makes it easy when the drivers do them that well, I got to tell you. So, what is it here? We have Bufu Shidara dropping down quickly. It's Pigham's in 2nd. Doug taking pole from Bufu Shidara. Eber's going to come through in 4th. Badass has not come through yet. He's our next driver to come through. He's going to stay in 5th. Misdevious, what can she do? She's going to move up to 5th. Tattooed Freak stays in 7th. Hair Razor moves up to 8th. Jakey's going to come around. He moves up to, I don't even know where. We got Roses coming through. He stays in 10th. Just Penelope, one of our new drivers here. We'll talk about this in a second. She's going to go into 2nd place, down to 12th place driver here, CFR. And he's got some quick times here today, too. So let's see what he's got in him in this Corvette. He's going to move up into 11th. Mike coming around here right now in that Genesis. This might not be the best track for him, but we could be wrong. And I think he had a penalty there. So this could be not the best lap for him here. We got Petrolhead coming around in that Sylvia, and then we'll have Sikkim, our championship points leader here, in that BMW as well as we're coming into round 3. Very lengthy series here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 12-week series. And Sikkim's just coming up to that start-finish line run here. Let's see what Sikkim has. We know this driver's quick. So final driver out in the pack here. Let's see where he settles in as he comes across that line. it's going to be second place. So Doug Burrow still holding pole position here with a 3/100th of a second gap on Sikkim in second place. So Doug Burrow, returning driver, of course, he's won a few championships here at the GTRC over the seasons. We have Sikkim here, new season for this driver, and he is leading this Pro Division Championship, and BMW is also leading that team manufacturer points series as well. Just Penelope, her first race of the season here, ladies and gentlemen, so she has come into play with this Pro Division here today as well, currently sitting third on the pole. We have Apex Racing's Pigums and Bufu Shadara side by side coming into this final sector here, and Apex Pigums' first full season here with the GTRC, and he's currently sitting in fourth. You know, this could all change as we come across the line, so we'll stick with these guys. And wow, that was Doug there just coming out all kinds of out of sorts at that Lexus, and his Pigums with the Super as he comes around. Let's see if he can improve on that fourth place time here. No, he does not. It doesn't look like any of them guys improve at all there. Bufu Shadari with the Ferrari here, and he is the two-time defending champion here in the Major Championship Series of GTRC currently. We have GR Ibra here, returning driver as well in the Mercedes. We have Hairraiser, also returning driver. He's been here all season in that Mustang. He's had two really great race starts and two not-so-great race finishes here. Just not working out for him here this season, so he's going to be looking for a really good run today. We're going to have Apex Racing's Jakey, our substitute driver here today. This will be his second race of the season as a sub here, and he is in that McLaren. We got Miss Devious here as well, our other woman competitor here in the pro lobby, and she is a very steady, solid driver. We're just waiting for her to really break out here. She hasn't quite shown us what she's got yet. We've got Badass here, started his season last time around as well in that Dodge Viper. We have Petrolhead here in 11th place, and he's in that Nissan Silvia. We've got CRF here in that Corvette. We've got Tattooed Freak in the Jaguar. We have Bite the Roses here from High Pre Racing, and this is his first race of the season. He's opted to go with that McGinn Trophy. And we've got Mike Mates here in that Hyundai Genesis. Rounding out the field, love to see 15 lobbies. Oh, we love to see full lobbies. That is exciting news. Sounds good, fantastic. We appreciate all that feedback, everybody. We really, really do. It's just beautiful. All right, I think everything is working here now, except for my alerts apparently, but that's all right. Details. So it is just Penelope now on pole position here with a 158.972 in that Aston Martin. We've got Doug Burrow here in second. He's almost 2/10 behind just Penelope. He's still 3/100ths ahead of Sikkim. Sikkim here in Team BMW only 9/100ths of a seconds ahead of Pigums, who only has barely a 1/10 of a second on Bufu Shadara, just under here as these two come to start finish line. Let's see if they settle in any better here. It looks like these two have been working together pretty good here actually through qualifying, so let's see if they can help each other out a little bit here. Neither one of them moves a position here. We have Ibris coming into pit lane. Hairraiser is currently sitting in P7. His time's a 59.992, so we're seeing some quick times. A 2-minute flat here from the McLaren from Jakey. Miss Devious at a 59.836, and she just puts herself up into P6, so that was a great lap there from Miss Devious. We have Badass here up in the 9th place with Jakey in 10th. We got Petrol still in 11th. Freak here in 13th. Rose is just jumping up into P11 there. Oh, we have a driver off the track there as well. So where are we at? This is going to be the final laps here, I think, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers cross the start-finish line here. And I believe that they're going to have to be calling it quits here at the end of the tunnel. I'm not 100% sure what the deal is here, but just Penelope going around again here. Doug Barrow going around. He's just coming out into that long back straightaway here. Now, Trial Mountain, this is an original racetrack from, I believe it was Gran Turismo 4 and 5. It never used to be quite this long. Now the two technical sectors are still very tried and true to Circuit Mountain for the most part. They've kept that pretty original, but what they have done is they've added to the front stretch and the back straightaway here. That tunnel is easily twice as long now. So they're doing a little bit of work there in between major releases and extending this racetrack. And it actually makes for really great fun racing here. So great job, of course, by Gran Turismo and Polyphony Digital with Trial Mountain, bringing Trial Mountain back. It is a legendary track, and of course one of my personal favorites here at GT45 Gaming as well. So this is going to be a fun race, ladies and gentlemen. I really do think that everybody is going to enjoy what's going to be happening here. And I mean, it's Doug now on pole, but we have seen just Penelope jump into pit lane there, I believe. So it'll be Doug in second, with Sikkim chasing here in third. Now, he did improve just slightly there. Pigham's still just in behind, and this is close. I mean, we're within 100ths of a second here in our top 5 drivers, essentially. 6 drivers, 7 drivers, 8 drivers, 9 drivers. Wow. I mean, from front to back, ladies and gentlemen, 1.6 seconds. 1.6 seconds separates front to back here right now as far as qualifying goes. So that is pretty good for 15 driver field here. A lot of that is just the cars. Racing conditions are going to change everything here for these drivers. So you can see the guys are all finished up their hot laps here. We've got Sikkim coming around. It looks like Sikkim's on one. It looks like, yeah, he is. We're going to stick with Sikkim here and see if he can grab pole position from just Penelope there, who is a 158.972. And just Penelope coming in with a bang here very early on in her debut today as well, looking for that pole position. Got a fast group of drivers here in this division, this series from GTRC, and it's going to be a great race, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we're all ready. I know I am. I've been waiting for this for the last couple of days. It's been on my mind. I've been thinking about it. We've made a couple of little additions to the stream, which you'll notice throughout the broadcast, I'm sure. And let's see what Sikkim does here as he comes around. He's on a good time here. It's definitely going to be an under 2-minute time. And it is not going to be an improvement. It was a 59.745 there, so looks like that is where we're going to be sitting here. So it's going to be just Penelope on pole, followed by Dugborough right beside her. Starting row 2 will be Sikkim. Sitting beside him will be Apex Piggums in 4th place. Starting row 3 will be Bufu Shadara, defending champion. Sitting beside him will be Apex Racing's Jakey. In row 4 will be Miss Devious. Lining up first right beside her will be Ibra. In row 5, row 4, it'll be Hair Razor. And sitting beside him will be Badass. Row 5 will be Bite the Roses, followed by CRF. In row 6 will be Tattooed Freak. Sitting beside him will be that Sylvia of Petrolhead. We have Mike Mates here filling out that 14th position. Filling out that final and last row 8. There, I'm confused I'm just confused. We had something going there and we just botched it. It's alright. Streamer full pause, chat. Streamer full pause. Hope everybody's doing good. We missed you guys. It's been, I know, we don't have flat out racing here, but we're going to have some regular content coming for everybody here starting next week, so. Just checking everything, making sure nothing too major is happening here. So these guys will just get a short little break and then it's race time, ladies and gentlemen. So it'll be a 1-hour endurance race here today, ladies and gentlemen, from our GTRC community. And it is going to be a good one. That much I can guarantee that. We can see how close those times are right from top to bottom. 1.6 seconds separating our whole field here today. All we could say from this point on is good luck to all these racers. And I hope we're all ready to settle in for what's going to be a pretty good show here today. Not two of the same cars on this racetrack. We have 15 drivers and 15 different GT4 cars on the racetrack. It's going to be fun. Settle in, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to get racing. You can see these guys are just having some fun here. That Mustang really burning that rubber off. So good torque there in that Mustang. He's going to rip up some donuts here for everybody. Let's go find our boy Hair Racer as he's going to put on some juicy donuts there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was some good donuts right there. Anybody else? Anybody else? These drivers are sure looking ready. Oh, we're going to get Roses. Rose is going to take over on the donut front here now. Let's go jump on board with Roses. Oh, a little wall contact there. They got the old momentum. The old momentum a little died out there, but he's gonna reset up them there donuts so he get a little bit distance from these drivers. Oh, he's gonna contact that Jaguar. These drivers just having some fun here right now. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Devious coming into play here now as well. She's like, hey, hold on, boys. We're doing donuts? I'm in. There we go. All these cars are going to have all kinds of damage on them from these donuts. The crews are not going to be too happy with these drivers as to get these cars prepped for the race, but there we go. We got some McLaren donuts. We got some McGain donuts. We got some reverse donuts now because Jakey keeps hitting the wall. We got some Sylvia donuts up in the distance. This is fantastic. Lots of smoke rolling off. Burning those Michelin rubber tires off of these cars here today. I just joined back to see these dudes piled up and I was about to ask if this was Division Z. Now everybody's just getting ready to go here. They typically get about a 2-minute break before we kick off the race here. That's just, you know, any last-minute potty breaks, any last-minute things that the drivers need to do before they settle in. So we're just roasting off some racing tires here, Trial Mountain, turn 4s and 5 here. So good times. Yeah, some good donuts happening here. I love it. This is some great stuff. Good show, boys. I hope everybody's enjoying the stunt case showcasing here by our pro division at GTRC. This is how we take 15 race cars and have a little bit of fun without wrecking each other. All right, we're starting to get the readies up here now, so we'll be underway very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Our host just getting things started here, so drivers definitely look ready. Drivers definitely look ready. Now that they've roasted off their tires, they've got those cars all warmed up. Let's see what they can do off the start of this race, shall we? Now each car is going to be a little bit different off the race start here. We're going to see some cars excel off the race start. We're going to see some cars struggle, but then we're going to see the strengths of maybe some of these not so top end cars through our first and second sectors and our third sectors. And then we're going to see, of course, those power cars really show their prowess on these big straightaways here. So I think we're in for a pretty good, well-balanced race here today. And that's it. It's time to go. Kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen. It is just Penelope on pole position here today, followed by Doug Barrow, Sikkim, Apex Piggums, Bufu Shadar, Apex Racing's Jakey, Miss Devious, and GR Ibra to round out our top 8. We're down to 3 reds, 4, 5. It's race time, waiting to go green. Let's get ready to go green, and let's jump on board with our pole sitter, just Penelope. It's her debut here. Oh, we don't have the camera working today. Oh, no. We don't have the camera rotation. No. And Doug Barrow making the move here on just Penelope. So, unfortunately, I didn't map my controller back to where it should be. So, my bad. My bad. We're going to miss the 360 style camera today, but that's all right. Oh, we're going 3 wide coming into the tunnel here. As you can see, Sikkim in that BMW taking a look in between Bufu Shadar and Piggum. Saw better of himself and just backed off a little bit there. And we are going to go 2 wide here through this sector. We are going to stay on just Penelope here as this is getting juicy as we're coming up the field here. And 15 cars coming barreling through our first couple sectors here at Trial Mountain on lap 1 of this 1-hour endurance race. And it is just Penelope here in second place. Doug Burrow up into the lead of the race, and that is where Doug Burrow likes to be. He likes to try and control the pace of the race, but just Penelope has a different idea here. She's going to look up the inside of Doug Burrow here, so battle back for that first place for just Penelope, and she does get the run on him. So the Aston a little bit stronger than that Lexus here in a straight line, as she wasn't using that slipstream at all there. She just out raced him coming into the corner, and she's going to cut off the line coming into the corner. Just Penelope taking the lead back from Doug Burrow, and boy, oh boy, we got us a race very early on, and look at all 15 of those cars coming through there. Oh, this is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Burrow here in second place. We've got Apex Racing's Piggums right there in third, and he is tucked right up underneath that wing of that Lexus of Doug Barrow. Oh boy, and here we go coming into this corner, and we're going to be coming into this very tricky chicane sector here at the end of this lap with all 15 drivers still lined up here. This is going to be wonderful. Bufu Shadar in the Ferrari, Sikkim in the BMW, and Jakey is going to go up the inside here as we're coming into the chicane, but if Sikkim can hang out there with them, it's going to give Sikkim the inside track coming into the next corner, and that's unfortunate for Jakey there. He's going to look for a cutback here. Can he get the power down? The BMW is probably going to outdrive that McLaren here. He is the case. He's just got to tuck back into that slipstream, so a great little battle there between Jakey and Sikkim for 5th and 6th place, but Sikkim just edging Jakey out here. So are we going to see a move? Oh, and we're going to go 2 wide through corners 1, 2, and 3, and 4 here. So here we go leading into the tunnel, and it is side by side from these 2 drivers, and Sikkim goes a little bit wide there. That was not contact there. I see no contact between those 2 drivers. He just let off that brake a little too early there and slid off into the track, and that's going to be devastating for Sikkim's run here early on. We got Ibra here in 6th place. We've got Hair Razor in 7th. We've got Roses up into 8th place behind that Mustang here. Let's get back through the field. We've got Badass in 9th. We've got Petrol in 10th. We've got Tattooed here in 11th with Devious right up underneath his tail here in 12th place, and everybody on purple sectors here. It's only lap 2, so fastest lap on track will settle in here very shortly. We have CRF in 13th in that Corvette. We've got Mike in that Genesis here in 14th, and Sikkim is a little bit behind these guys in that BMW, but we don't doubt for a second that this guy won't start to catch up this pack. They are driving nose to tail. He's in clean air. It's just a matter of time as long as he doesn't make any mistakes here. So really unfortunate there. Tried to hang it out on the outside going into turn 1 and just paid the price by letting off the brakes a little too early. There's what it looked like from my point of view anyways. And Sikkim dropping all the way down to P15. So let's jump out. Let's go get the TV crew working here. There we go. Thanks, TV guys. We appreciate all the effort from our production crew here. They were just too busy drinking coffee and forgot to turn on their production button, so we had to take over there, but we got them back in business here. So don't forget to bring that broadcaster some coffee up here in the booth too, guys, while you're at it. Hey, we'd appreciate it. All right, it is just Penelope up in the lead here as we're coming around to the end of lap 2. So we're about 2-minute laps here, ladies and gentlemen, so we should expect to see 30 laps, maybe 29 laps here at Trial Mountain today. Again, 1-stop and 2-stop strategies are definitely going to be the 2 dominant strategies here today. It just depends on what each driver really thinks is the best play. Now, Pro-Am division is running right beside this division over at Nolander Gaming here as well, ladies and gentlemen. So you want to see how the Pro-Am teammates are doing, just got to look for the same manufacturer, and you'll be able to find out. So right now there is no Pro-Am Aston Martin driver, so just Penelope is driving for the whole team here and coming into round 3, but looking very solid early on in this race. We have Apex Racing's Pigham's now moved up ahead of Dugborough. He's up at the P2 here, starting to try and chase down just Penelope. We got Dugborough now down into P3, and Bufu Shadar is starting to make his way up. He's still in P4, but has closed right up on that Lexus driver. Got Apex Racing's Jakey. He's now up into P5, of course, with Sikkim going a little bit wide into turn 1 there, and he's got a little bit of open air there. So see if he can catch up to that Ferrari up ahead of him there with Bufu Shadara. He has Ibra in the Mercedes here in 6th place, chasing him down as well. And that was a great tight line there through leading into the tunnel by Ibra. You can see him try to break the slipstream a little bit with a little movement over to the center of the track there, but Hairraiser's not having any of that. He is just going to roll that Mustang right up the road here, and Rose is doing a great job of taking advantage of the power of that Mustang with that McGain trophy and really settled into that slipstream here, just letting Hairraiser pull that car along. So some good smart driving here by Roses in 8th place so far. We got Badass in 9th, and he's rolling around there, and he is under pressure here from the back part of this field. Miss Devious has moved up into 10th here, and she is starting to put the pressure on that Dodge Viper driver. We see that Nissan Silvia with petrol head here, and this car's done well so far in the series. Oh, and he's going to take a look up the inside of Devious, and a little bit of an accordion effect there as he had to check up, and the Tattooed Freak didn't have time to check up, but all the drivers continue on here, and gotta hate it when that happens. And we got a little bit of a bottleneck here at the back end of the field here right now with some of these drivers, and that was some great driving right there. That's why these are the Pro Division. They can handle these situations. So CRF here in 13th with Mike in 14th, and Sikkim starting to close in on that back. I told you we'll see this driver catch up to these guys, especially driving nose to tail like that, fighting for position. It's just a matter of time for that car in clean air to start to close that pack up, but it is just Penelope still in the lead of this race. She is the fastest driver on this racetrack with a 1:59.738. We've got Apex Racing's Pigham's here in 2nd place chasing with that Toyota Supra. Bufu Shadara, Team Ferrari here today, and he has gotten around Doug Barrow there and found his way to the podium, so we're missing all the action here apparently today as we're going through, and it's too hard to see it when everybody's nose to tail like that. It's hard to find where that battle is, and it looks like we might have a little bit of some brewing here between Roses and Ibra. So 7th place here, Roses has made his way around Hairraiser as well, and he's starting to put some pressure on Ibra here in 6th place. So lots of battling happening all throughout the field here. Some quick position changes. It looks like we're not seeing elongated battles from these drivers, and that's some smart driving there. Just try to get the move done quick, precise, and try to work on the next driver ahead of you. If you're the driver leading the race, then try to build the gap on the driver behind you chasing you, basically. So different strategy depending where it is you're on the racetrack, but the same strategy at the end of the day. We got Doug and who is that now? Doug and Jakey there battling for position in the slipstream there. Jake's going to slot in ahead. Slingshot engaged for Team McLaren there, and he's going to move up into P4, and he's going to put Doug down into P5 here in that Lexus. So lots of position changes. Roses here putting some pressure. We got Badass closing in on Hair Raiser here as well. It is happening all up and down this racetrack here. We're trying to catch it, but we just can't catch it all, unfortunately. We need our live action replays back, please, PD. We would love that. Thank you. All right, but it is Ibra here in 6th place. And oh, it looks like he lost track with Roses a little bit here. So we're going to keep moving down the field here, as all these drivers are very close together. Badass here, that Viper, currently sitting in 9th place. Misdevious in 10th, right in behind. She has Petrolhead tucked in behind her, and Tattooed Freak rounding out that little train. And just in behind this train is CRF in that Corvette. We have Mike in that Genesis, and Sikkim, he is just a corner behind the pack now. So here we go. It is about to get interesting. Oh yeah. Just Penelope in the lead here, looking very strong. 1.5 second gap on second place driver Apex Racing's Piggums here as we're coming through turns 1, 2, and 3. And looking real solid coming into the tunnel. Apex Racing's Piggums closed up some of that time coming through there. Bufu Shadara here in 3rd place, 1.4 seconds behind Apex Racing's Piggums. We have Jakey here in 4th, and he's trying to close in on Bufu Shadara. He's in that slipstream currently. Doug Burrow 1.3 seconds behind that McLaren driver and Jakey. We've got Ibra and Roses here real tucked back close together again, battling for position here. So let's see if Roses can get the job done. His car definitely is a demon when it comes to these corners, and there's really left to right corner situating these undulating corners. That McGain Trophy really specializes in these technical sectors around these racetracks, but here he definitely needs to help with these bigger cars to keep that top speed up, to stay in the fight going into these technical sectors. And he's really been putting on a clinic on how to keep that car in the draft with those faster straight line cars here. And you can see Ibra's Mercedes even pulling a little bit of a gap, even though Roses is in that slipstream. Now, granted, he did grab Doug's slipstream a little bit there. That might have helped the situation, but all three drivers here very close together now. We got battles happening all up and down the racetrack here. So we want to keep our eye basically from right now from, well, really first all the way through. 1.2 seconds is that gap from first to second. So Piggum's working hard to reel Penelope in. Bufu Shadara is just staying right there, 1.6 seconds behind. Jakey still in the slipstream, still right there. Just can't quite close Bufu Shadara in here yet. We have, I think we got to keep our eye on this little 3-pack right here with Doug, Ibra, and Roses here, 5th, 6th, and 7th place. And I mean, Ibra is just not, he's not taking any prisoners here. He's not even allowing a B to fit between his front bumper and that rear bumper coming through that chicane. He is all over the back of that Lexus right now. Roses is just trying to get that McGain tucked right into the back end of that Mercedes. So corner 1, dirty air. Let's see how they all operate coming through here. And we're still keeping our eye on that top pack too, as well as Jakey is really working hard at closing up Bufu Shadara there. Ooh, a great job by all three drivers getting through their dirty air. Not factoring these GT4 cars as much necessarily, but it definitely still plays a factor. So great job to all three of these drivers getting through there alive. And you can see Ibra got a great run in there on the inside of Doug coming into that tunnel corner. So let's see if that relates on exit here. No, it doesn't actually. It looks like he made a mistake there, and he's going to have to go defensive on Roses here to defend that position. So let's move ahead here. Let's get into Ibra and Roses as we got a cracking little battle developing here between 6th and 7th place drivers right now. And this is the first race of the season for Roses from Team Hypre as well. So he's going to get a nice tight line into that tunnel, and look at the exit he gets there. Look at the time he gains on Ibra, and is he going to push him? No, he is going to try and outrace that Mercedes. It's McGain versus Mercedes as we come up this long back straight here, and you can see the strength in that Mercedes as he's starting to edge out that McGain here coming to the end of the straightaway. Can Roses keep that car on the inside? No, he has to tuck back in, but he may be able to get a look here. Let's see what happens as he comes in. He definitely tries to put that car inside, and Ibra's not having anything of it. He is going to defend that off, and Ibra is going to hold that position. This is some great racing between these two drivers here right now. It's very calculated racing here. They're not trying to cost each other time, but Ibra's also not willing to give the position up here either. So great job here by all these drivers on track right now. I don't want to leave this, but I know there's more battles happening on this racetrack. Oh, and Doug making a mistake there, getting a little bit wide. That's going to draw these two back in, and Roses is just all over that Mercedes here right now, and he's going to take a look up the inside as we're coming down. Can he get his nose in there? Ooh, it is close. He's going to have to take some curb there, and now it's going to give Ibra the inside track. But can he get the cutback run here? Ooh, he's just going to have to tuck into that slipstream. I don't think he's got the run. Let's see. Here we go. Drag race on again between that Mercedes and that McGain trophy. And Roses is doing everything he can to get that car around that Mercedes. But Ibra is just like, outrun it if you can, mate. Good luck. And here we go, coming into turns 1 and 2. And Roses is just going to have to play smart and patient here. He is doing a fantastic job. Him and Ibra battling for this position here. And Ibra is just not giving Roses an opportunity to get a nose in and get a run, get that position. He needs to get the job done. So some great racing here between 6th and 7th place right now. A little bit of a mistake there from Roses. He almost got a little too wide there, and it's going to cost him just a little bit of time. So it is Hair Razor here at 8th place. So let's go see what's going on everywhere else. My goodness. It's Badass here in 9th with Freak now up into 10th place. So Miss Devious here in 11th with Petrol in 12th. We've got Sikkim, who's now moved up back into P13. So the recovery drive now underway here as he's trying to reel in Petrol head. It's CRF here in that Corvette in 14th. You can see sparks coming off the back end of that car as it rubs the asphalt going over that hill. And Mike here in that Genesis in 15th position. So love to see full grids. I am absolutely ecstatic about that full grid here today. Great racing, great comms. Hey, we appreciate you, Paul. My software is not updating all that well here today, ladies and gentlemen, so I apologize if I'm not seeing things. Sending respect. Appreciate you, Rob. Happy is retired from AMR. Aston Martin, go Lady Penelope. Hey, we got some Aston fans up in the house. Paul and Jake coming in with that heart as well. I just joined back to see these dudes piled up. yeah, facts. Alright, so it is our race leader, just Penelope right now, and she's got a 1.9 second gap on our second place driver, Apex Racing's Pigums. She has had a very great start to her debut here today, and welcome to the GTRC racing community, just Penelope. Apex Racing's Pigums here in second, and he's a calculated, patient driver here too as well. So we're at about the 15-minute point of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you guys can't see that because my banner is blocking for you, but we're just over 14 minutes in right now, so we still have 3/4 of this race to go yet. So right now the drivers are starting to think about pace management, tire management, fuel management, all those kinds of things. Got Bufu Shadara here in 3rd place with that Ferrari. Apex Racing's Jakey here in 4th. And we got a legend in the house right now, ladies and gentlemen, with Ghost Viper Gaming up in the house. How you doing, my guy? We appreciate you. TTV Bite the Roses. He's now Team Hypre here, ladies and gentlemen, with that beautiful Hypre livery on that race car there. And yeah, looking snazzy as always. Here in 5th place, we got Doug in P6 in that Lexus, and he's got Ibra all over him. So Roses has grabbed 2 spots there, and he's doing a great job in that McGain trophy to really rope his way up from 8th place or 9th place on the grid where he started into a P5 position. Because now it's Ibra and Doug here, so let's see how this goes as Ibra's going to take a look at it. Is Mercedes versus Lexus here now, ladies and gentlemen. We know the Mercedes is good. Let's see how good this Mercedes is against this Lexus now. And he is going to get just enough of a run on Doug here. So side by side as we come through this long sweeping corner, and it is game on. It is race on. Is Doug going to let up here? Not a shot. He's going to go inside on this next quarter. But if Ibra can hang tough here, and he does, he just slots it ahead, but he makes a mistake. He's going to have to really hold that apex. It's going to be cut back on here from Doug. Can he get the position? He can, but Ibra now has the inside track on the next corner, and the whole backside of the pack is bundling up on these guys here, so lots of positions to be grabbed and lost here, and Doug's gonna go side by side with Ibra as we're coming up the run to the start finish line. And here we go. Badass is now getting involved in that Viper here as well. He's got a great run through there. Ibra's going way defensive. Hair Razor's going defensive. Sikkim trying to get around Miss Devious, just slots himself up ahead. Doug going a little bit wide, still on the inside, but Ibra's gonna get a good run there. Ooh, and Badass is gonna get a good run. A little bit of a mistake made there by Doug, and he is gonna drop back a couple more positions. Whew. It is P6 now to Ibra. That was some crazy action right there. Doug's gonna hold on to P7. He's just gonna hold Badass off here, but now it's freaking Badass in 8th and 9th place here. Team Jaguars just tucked in. We got Sikkim in that BMW. Has now moved himself back up into the top 10 after that. After going off in turn 1 there, as we just seen him come through there, fall to the back of the pack, and now he's making his way back up through the field. Oh, and Doug getting a little bit wonky out of that curb there, and he goes sideways, and look at this pack. We got about 8 cars deep here. They're all nose to tail tail 2x2 coming through the tunnel. This is some racing here, ladies and gentlemen, and Ibra is leading this pack right now. What some great racing. We got Sikkim up the inside now of Freak as he's looking for position. Miss Devious goes up the inside of Hair Razor. They almost went 3 wide coming out of that corner. Doug's holding Badass off. Freak's taking a look up the inside. Sikkim taking a look, trying to get around the next driver. Is he going to look up the inside here? No. Hair Razor defending here on Petrolhead in that Sylvia, and this is some great racing as we're coming through the tunnel, ladies and gentlemen, and CRF in that Corvette is just sitting back there going, whew, this is some insane racing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my, look at that pack, and that has been some great driving right there. Wow, this division, oh boy, these are spicy drivers here tonight, and I think we found ourselves a pretty solidly paced pro division. Badass on the defense with Freak right there in behind Doug and Sikkim. A little bit of contact made there potentially. I'm not sure what happened there, as we've seen a lag spike, and they're going to come out 3 wide out of that corner, and Freak. Doug dropping way down the order here. I get Sikkim now up at the P8. He's putting the pressure on Freak. He's going to go the outside coming into the corner. If he can hang it here, he's going to give him the inside track. Freak's trying to cut that line off. Is Freak going to go defensive here? No, he's just going to stick on that racing line. And Sikkim is the man on the move. He is a man on a mission right now, as he has really spiced this pack up here. Ooh, he almost got it wrong. Badass is tucked right in behind there in 9th place with Miss Devious in 10th. Doug now in 11th with Petrolhead and Razor and CRF right there hounding him down. Let's go see what's going on at the front of the pack here real quick. Whew, I need a breath. Oh my goodness. Just Penelope still in lead by 1.4 seconds. Pigums is right there. He hasn't let her get away. Bufu Shadara just losing touch a little bit on that pace. Jakey here, same thing, in 4th place. We have Roses now in 5th place. Our top 5 drivers spread out quite good. And then we've got this pack of like 8 cars, and boy are they racing today, and it is led by Ibra. Now Sikkim looking for a way around Freak here still as they come through the turns 1, 2, and 3, and boy, this is a battle, and these guys are pushing these cars to their limits here today, as Ibra is just probably looking in the mirror going, oh my god, I gotta get away from this, I gotta get away from this, but no way. Freak is right there on the back end, and he's got Sikkim right there still looking for a way around, and boy, this is some patient, great calculated driving by every single one of these drivers here right now, and it is Ibra. He is defending his life right now as Freak tried to get a nose in there. He just couldn't quite get it in there. Sikkim's going to look up the inside. Sikkim's going to get a good run here. Nice tight line. Ooh, little tiny bit of contact there between him and that Jaguar, but no harm, no foul, and it's a drag race between BMW and Mercedes, but the Mercedes has a push from the Jaguar in behind, so that should help Ibra slot it ahead. Tattooed Freak's like, hey, mate, where do you think you're going? We are not done here yet. So it's Ibra and Freak and Sikkim here battling for this position. That's allowing this pack to catch back up. Sikkim's going to take a look. He's going to go up the inside here, and it's still Ibra holding down P6. Sikkim is getting the job done on the inside here. Can he get it on that Jaguar? And Freak's still hanging out there. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. It's going to be 2x2 from Sikkim and Freak coming through the S's here. Ooh, almost caught that wall, did that BMW, and a contact between the 2 drivers there with Freak and Sikkim, and these drivers are all still giving it. Look at these guys go. Rubbing is racing today, folks, and these drivers are absolutely giving it the 150%. Miss Devious looking for the over-under here now as well, and she's side by side with Sikkim, and she's going to grab that position from Sikkim there, and Sikkim has nowhere to go. Miss Devious is going to go look for 2 positions here. She's going to go up the inside, and Sikkim's going to make it 3 wide as we come into the chicane, and it is battle on. That didn't work out very well for him, as you can see him smoking his tires, getting back on track, and some impatience and aggressive driving is not paying dividends for Sikkim there, and now it's a bump from Miss Devious on Tattooed Freak, and these two are like, let's get out of here, let's go catch Ibra. A badass right here in 9th place, and behind in that Dodge Viper, and boy, oh boy, what a show that these drivers have been watching, chasing these guys down. Absolutely incredible stuff. Doug here in that Lexus. Sikkim is going to look for some clean air here as he's coming in. Ooh, and a little drift as he came around the corner, and Sikkim is just pushing right now. Hard. Petrol in 11th, Hair Razor in 12th. We've got CRF in 13th. We've got Sikkim in 14th, and tire management really is going to be key here for this driver now. He needs to just reel it in. He's been doing really well today. He has lots of race left to make this time up. He's just got to settle down, let those tires get back to some... Ooh, and here he goes. And yeah, he just has some really warm tires here right now, as he's got Mike just tucked in behind in that Genesis, and he's looking for that position here as he's going to go up the inside, and yeah, lots of smoke rolling from this car here. So ooh, badass here in P15, so not sure what happened there, but he is now up the tunnel and on his way here, and not too far out the pack, but a little out the pack. We've seen it once before, and that was with Sikkim, so here we go. That was a wild couple of laps. Facts. A 49 star drops coming in from Paul Blomstrom. Let's get a hashtag Paul B up in the chats, please, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute legend. We appreciate you, Paul. And wow, what a race so far. It's just Penelope, and while we're watching all that crazy action from 6th to 12th place here. We've got Apex Racing's Pigums closing in on our race leader, just Penelope here. He's in that slipstream within 0.8 of a second here at this point, so he is definitely closing in on our race leader. Are we going to see a battle for the lead here, or are these two just going to play nice? We'll have to wait to see if Pigums can catch up to find out, but let's stick it on board with Apex Racing's Pigums, our second place driver here, as he's just sitting in behind just Penelope coming into the corner here. And you know, it kind of does look like he might just be sitting in behind, managing fuel in behind his driver currently right now. Everybody's a little unfamiliar with this driver's pace, fuel management, tire management, strategy consideration. It's for her first race of the season, so lots to learn here as well for Pigums as he sits in behind just Penelope, chasing in second place as well. Clearly, she's a very quick driver. She's leading this race and pretty much has been all race long, but Apex Racing's Pigums is definitely up to the task here to challenge as he's trying to reel her in. This is what it looks like from Bufu Shadara's point of view here as he's in third place. And oh, we have potential disconnect there from one of our drivers, so that's unfortunate. We got Apex Racing's Jakey here in fourth place as well. We've got Roses in fifth. We've got Ibra in sixth. We've got Tattoo Freak in seventh here. In behind Ibra, we've got Miss Devious in eighth, and she's just settled in behind these guys. So this mid-pack looking like it's settled down just a little bit here. We've got Hairraiser in ninth. We've got Petrolhead here in 10th. We've got CRF here in 11th. We've got Doug Barrow in 12th. We've got Mike in 13th. And Sikkim has got his car in pit lane here, so a little bit of frustration potentially maybe from that BMW driver there as he's in pit lane here. So a lot's happened so far in this race, ladies and gentlemen, but let's jump on board with just Penelope here. She's just coming through our final few corners here at Trial Mountain to start off lap 13. We're going to start seeing pit windows coming very soon here too as well, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be interesting to see when these drivers start to opt to pit in, get those tires, get that fuel, you know, all that jazz, see who takes what for fuel, undercut, overcut, who stays out when this person pits. It's all game of strategy here over the next 3, 4 to 5 laps. So it's just Penelope here in the race lead and has, like I said, been there most of the race. Pickham's had it briefly there or Doug Barrow had it briefly there at the beginning of the race, and Penelope took it back, and it's just been it's been hers ever since. But Pickham's has other ideas as he's half a second in here, so he is just in that slipstream very comfortably here in behind the leader, and potentially just playing a little bit of fuel saving game in behind that race leader right now. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We got Bufu Shadara here, Team Ferrari, in third place, and he's done a great job at managing the gap to the fourth place driver in Apex Racing's Jakey and that McLaren in behind as well. He's 4.4 seconds behind the front two drivers, but he's kept Jakey at bay at about that 2-second gap here over the last 4 or 5 laps, especially here. We got Bite the Roses here at 2.4 seconds in behind Jakey, and again that lap kind of maintaining for the most part. I think it might have been just a little bit bigger, so Roses may be slowly but surely creeping into the back end of that McLaren driver here. We have Tattooed Freak, who's now gotten around Ibra, so Tattooed Freak now leading this mid-pack here, and boy, we have seen some positions change in this mid-pack today, haven't we, folks? Tattooed Freak now leading the way here up at the P6 of this back group here. Boy, what a spicy little pack this has been all day long. Ibra here in 7th place with Miss Devious now in 8th. In behind her is Petrohead with that Sylvia in 9th. We have Hairraiser here in 10th. We've got CRF here in 11th place. We've got Doug in 12th. We've got Mike in 13th. We've got Sikkim, and that car is in pit lane here. Lots of battling from that car. Maybe he broke something. The crew taking a look at it, and we do have Team Viper with Badass there having a issue with his car, and his car now in the garage and behind the wall. So 2 drivers currently out. We started with 15, currently 13 still running on track, 1 in pit lane. So not sure if we're going to see that BMW back on track here yet or not today, but it's been some crazy racing, that's for sure, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we want to say thank you to, of course, all the track officials here at Trial Mountain for allowing us to abuse their racetrack all week long, testing, tuning, getting ready for this absolutely what's been a fantastic race here all day long. No complaints from my end, that's for sure. They've had me on my toes all day here in the booth. And Apex Pickums and just Penelope just chilling here, man. Very equally paced drivers here right now. Fastest lap does actually belong to Sikkim with a 59 flat there. Bufu Shadara here in 3rd place, and there is a bonus point for fastest lap here, so it's important for Team BMW to get that car back out on track and continue on in this race, even if they're a few laps down here. Apex Jakey here in 4th. We've got Roses here at 5th. We've We've got Tattooed in 6th. We've got Ibra here in 7th. And Miss Devi is starting to put some pressure on Ibra here. She's going to look up the inside of the tunnel just as we say that. She has got a great run there, and she is going to tuck that Toyota 86 right underneath that Mercedes, and she is going to get a job done. P7 here from Miss Devi. Slight little defense, little flash of the lights to say good battle there to Ibra, and these two drivers continue on, now chasing down Freak. So Freak's building a small little gap here with those two drivers, just swapping that position around real quick. Nice quick clean move there by Miss Devious on Ibra, putting him back down to 8th. Petrohead's now closed in on that Mercedes here as well. So a little bit of contact with the wall there, and he got real fortunate that didn't kick him across the racetrack. He kept it underneath of him, but it's going to cost him a lot of time on the back of Ibra there in 9th place. Hair Razor chasing here, holding out that top 10 position here for the Mustang team, and this car has lots of top end, but fuel could be maybe an issue for that driver. Corvette, much of the same thing here with CRF in 11th place. We got Mike now up into 12th here with that Hyundai Genesis, and just a little bit of good fortune for this driver, and he's just chilling here, picking up free positions right now. Doug Barrow here in 13th, so he must have made a mistake here somewhere. He's got one tire really hurting here as it was flashing red, so he definitely had an overheated tire there. And again, Sikkim, that crew's still looking at that car. So we do have Jakey now in pit lane here, ladies and gentlemen. So our pit stops are starting here today in our race. And boy, what a race it has been. How are we all doing over there on YouTube and the Facebook channels? I hope we're doing fantastic. Whew. I can breathe for a second. That's fantastic, Chad. These drivers, they keep you on your toes. I got to tell you, this is fantastic stuff here from our Gran Turismo racing community this season. It has been just a different level of racing from these guys this season, and girls, and we love to see it. And right now, it is just Penelope leading. It is Pigums here in 2nd. We got Bufu Shadara in 3rd. We got Roses in 4th. We've got Freak in 5th with Miss Devious right in behind here in 6th. We've got Hair Razor in 7th. We've got CRF in 8th. We've got Mike in 9th. We've got Doug in 10th. We've got Petrol now coming into pit lane here in P11. We've got Ibra coming in P12. There we go. We can get a quick little shot of these cars as they're in pit lane here, since I don't have my rotating camera set up today. I apologize, folks. That's a fun little camera to play with. So we got our Apex Racing Jakey here for Team McLaren there as well. And we have gotten a great look at that BMW here as he is providing some of the great action we were seeing a little bit earlier there on the racetrack. And wow, these drivers really putting on a show here today. That is for sure. Woo. Wild racing here today at the GTRC, and it's just Penelope getting some pressure from Pigums. He's got a great run, and he has tucked himself up underneath the bumper of this Aston Martin. So, pits. Let's see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. Are these two drivers going to stop in pit lane this time around? Are they going to stop together? Is one driver going to stay out? Is one driver going to come in? It's all up to these drivers here to show us now as we're coming around, and it does look like Penelope is going to come in and pit. What is Pigums going to do? Ooh, I thought she was going to fake him there for a second, and it's going to be Apex Racing's Pigums. He's going to take this race lead here on lap 15, ladies and gentlemen, as he's coming around the end of lap 15. So he's going to start lap 16 in the race lead. So the first time for him here tonight. He's led this race, and our 3rd race leader here this evening. But of course he will quickly lose that when he does finally make his pit stop next time around. So it is undercut versus overcut here. He needs a very good lap here out of this Toyota Supra to make this overcut work for him. Just Penelope now in pit lane. We'll let them all come in. It looks like the whole field in behind has come into pit lane behind these drivers. So Apex Pigums will be the only driver left, so let's get a good look here as all these drivers are coming in. The crew going to change those tires up on that Aston Martin. That is a great looking car out there, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Bufu Shadara, our Team Ferrari, White Cloud Coffee on the side of that car. We've got Roses here, a Team Hypre car as well. We've got Tattooed Freak just coming in here, so the rest of our drivers still haven't hit the box yet here. So here we go, Apex Racing's Tattooed Freak and team owner here as well for Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, one of our title sponsors. We haven't talked about our sponsors yet today. That is totally my bad. Miss Devious here in P9 and CRF here in P10. So we've seen all these other drivers make a pit stop. Pigums, the only driver remaining to owe a pit stop. So with that being said, huge love to our title sponsors, since I haven't even done that yet today, to Apex Racing Team, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, some of their drivers represented here in the Pro, and I believe we have a couple in the Pro-Am division as well. And of course myself, GT45 Gaming here. We're stepping in as title sponsors this season to broaden the reach, get these guys a little extra advertising and some good free stuff to help grow the league, and of course throw some prizes at the drivers for their efforts this season as well. So in cooperation with Apex Racing is GT45 Gaming. As business partners, we do typically work close together, so glad to have them on board with us here at the GTRC, and it's been a great series here so far. But Pigham's now coming into pit lane. We knew we were going to see it. He's not going to overextend that overcut. He knows that driver's coming out on fresh medium tires. Hey, how you doing, John? My guy, coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend, my friend. So let's see where just Penelope comes out in comparison to Pigham's here. It's a 1 minute and 1 second gap between the two drivers in this overcut undercut situation. So let's see which of these two strategies is the dominant one out of these two drivers. We got Peyton May coming in with that thumbs up. Stefan Waters coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, you guys. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. But it is just Penelope. She's coming in through the S's here. She's getting close. Now, it is a long pit stop here. We've seen that here already today. From Trial Mountain. Very lengthy pit entry here into Trial Mountain. You start in that final sector and you don't come out until right before corner 1. So very, very lengthy pit lane here. So let's see where she comes out in comparison to Apex Racing's Pigham's here. She has the chicane left to go around. Pigham's is still in pit lane. Let's see when they release Pigham's here. Oh, it's going to be close. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there. From just Penelope. But here she goes. And Pigham's still in pit lane. So it looks like the overcut. Oh, there he goes. They just released Pigham's here. So this is going to be close. But it is just Penelope who is going to take the lead back over from Apex Racing's Pigham's. And I mean just barely. So no time gain, no time loss really here. About a half-second gain by just Penelope. So the undercut a little stronger than that overcut here today, ladies and gentlemen. Roses up into third place here. So he undercuts Bufu Shidara, who is in fourth now, chasing. Jakey's still sitting here in fifth, but much closer to Bufu Shidara here in fifth place. Ibra in sixth place. So he's gotten ahead of a couple of these drivers. Miss Devious jumping ahead of Freak here a little bit as well. Freak now in eighth. We've got Hairraiser just taking position on Petrolhead there as I was going through the field, so getting the job done. Slingshot engaged from that Mustang as he come into turns 1, 2, and 3 here. And it's Hairraiser moving up into ninth, putting Petrol down into P10. But that's Sylvia very strong in these technical sectors here. And you can see how well he's going to keep up with that Mustang all the way through here. Let's stay on with this little bit of a mini battle here. I don't know if we'll see a battle from that Sylvia on this Mustang, because once he hits that back straight, I think that's where we're going to see that Mustang really show its prowess. So let's take it through this middle sector here. We're gonna have a little left, a right sweeper into the tunnel entry, and then you got to kick it over and get down into the undulating corner to maximize just the flow of this racetrack. Let the track basically make the corner for you. You hook the car in the right spot. It's just hit the gas and go. And ooh, CFR got a little bit wrong there. He didn't get spun there, making contact with the wall, but that's definitely going to cost some position on Doug there. So Doug does grab that position from him. P11 for the Lexus driver. You can see that Corvette tuck into the slipstream, and you can see that Nissan lose that Mustang here on that straightaway. Hairraiser just opening enough of a gap not to allow that Sylvia to put a nose in there coming into the corner here. So that is where the Mustang is definitely stronger. And nice little pack we got going here with Dugbro in 11th, CRF in 12th, and Mike here in 13th. And that BMW not looking good for Team BMW here today, as that looks like it's going to be a DNF. Burn it up, Jake, says John. But just Penelope still in the lead, back in the lead of this race now. It's the third time she's led this race here today. And the only two to challenge her for it have been Doug Burrow and Apex Racing's Pigham's. So it's going to be very interesting. Hey, Penelope gets it, says Rob. Hey, we love to see the fans out there. We appreciate everybody. Hope everybody's doing fantastic today. Hope everybody's been enjoying the broadcast. And we've seen some good battles here so far on the track, but it is just Penelope as she comes out of that first tunnel here. Apex Racing's Pigham's 1.3 seconds in behind. Rose is just under 4 seconds in behind that group, so he basically just swapped spots with Bufu Shidara really essentially in that first stint currently. But the difference is Bufu Shidara is right there 1.5 seconds in behind, and Jakey's in that slipstream here again in that McLaren in 5th place. And then it's 18 seconds from Ibra and this last, I can't even say half of the field, 2/3 of the field that were just battling so crazy they just completely lost touch with that front pack here. And unless something absolutely drastic starts happening up there, I think that this is a battle between this group and that front group here to end this race, but I could be completely wrong. Miss Devious here in 7th place, and she's got Tattooed Freak here from Apex Racing in 8th place here as well, chasing. He gets a great line through there as well as Miss Devious does, so great runs there from both those drivers, and that may actually allow them to gain a little bit of ground on Ibra there, because I don't think he got quite the same run through there as these two drivers in behind. So, and that is the case. Miss Devious is most certainly closing in on Ibra here as he's coming up the racetrack. So wrong button. This is kind of what it's looking like out behind that Mercedes right now. He knows those two are there, so Ibra's a pretty calm, calculated driver. However, we've seen that already from him here today. He's done some great defensive driving here, but you can see how good these drivers are at attacking as well, and we've seen some great moves made here today. Let's go Apex, says baby. Hey, appreciate that subscription here from Astro over on the YouTube as well. Much love. We appreciate you. Welcome to the Winner Circle community, my brother. And thank you for that extra level of support. Alright, so Tattooed Freak here in 8th with Hair Razor in 9th. Now, Hair Razor's 5 seconds behind that group here, so this, I guess this is kind of broken into two little separate packs here now. Petrolhead here in 10th with Doug in 11th, and Doug was leading this race at one point, here today, so having a little bit of a struggle here in the mid part and the latter parts of this race here. I'm not sure what's going on there. Just not able to get the ground made up that he's looking for. A couple of mistakes. I'm not really sure. Could be tire wear. Could be a number of things. So Mike here in 13th, and he's got himself tucked right in behind that Corvette, and it does certainly look like that BMW is done for the day here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is unfortunate for Team BMW, leading that team manufacturer points coming in round 3 here, and of course Sikkim leading coming into round 3 here in the championship as well. So some interesting doings happening here today in this pro division, but it is just Penelope in the lead. 7/10 of a second is Apex Racing's Piggum, so he's already starting to close in on just Penelope here. He is definitely not letting that first place driver get too far away here. Rose is now 5.8 seconds away, so he's lost a couple seconds on these drivers in the last couple laps, with Bufu Shadara right there in the slipstream, and Jakey right there along for the ride as well. Oh, and here we go. We got Ibra, Miss Devious, and Tattooed Freak, and these 2 or 3 are much closer together this time around on this straightaway than the last time we came through here. Let's stick with this for a minute and see if we're going to see a move made here from one of these 3 drivers. This is tough doing. It looks like Miss Devious is going to take a look here. She's got the run on that. Oh, and it's just slingshot engaged, and oh, it's a little bit of overspeed there, and oh boy. And we had some contact on the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Devious there. Really the unfortunate benefactor of that one, and I get a suspicion the stewards are going to be a little busy with that one here today, but I mean, that was just unfortunate. Braking done there by Ibra. I think he caught Tattooed Freak off guard, and I think Tattooed Freak just wasn't on the brakes enough at the right time there, and I think that the accordion effect just was engaged there at high speed, and 3 cars having a little incident on the racetrack there. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. That's racing. That's why we have officials to deal with all that after, but it continues no matter what happens on the racetrack. So it's Doug here in 9th place. It's Petrol in 10th. CRF here in 11th, Mike at 12th, Miss Devious here at 13th. Lots of time to make style. There's still 20.5 minutes remaining. There's plenty of time in this race yet to make this up, and it has been a spicy one today, folks. Whew. Nick Brewster coming in with that thumbs up. Legend, I tell you. Legend this guy is. Hey, Apex Racing's Piggum's here in 2nd place, and he is still trying to put the pressure on Penelope, but it seems like when he starts to reel Penelope in, she's just like, okay, I'll match your pace with a little extra pace, and let's see if you can match this pace now. So a little bit of a chess match happening here between 1st and 2nd place right now. Just Penelope doesn't want Apex Piggums in that slipstream because she knows that he can save a little bit of fuel, and that might factor in at the end of the race here if there is a battle between these two. So showing that she's very, very race aware on the racetrack here as well. Bufu Shadara here in 3rd place, and we got a battle between Jakey and Roses. So Roses already lost P3 to Bufu Shadara here, and it's going to be slingshot engaged for Apex Racing's Jakey, and that McLaren's now going to move himself up into P4 in a little flash of the lights to Roses to say thank you. And battle back on between these 3 drivers. So Bufu Shadara now up on that final podium position with Apex Racing's Jakey chasing, and Roses right there in tow in 5th place. And I gotta tell you, these 5 drivers, when they come back and take a look at this race here later on, they are going to be happy they were at the front half of this pack today, because it has been a spicy backside of the pack today. We have Ibra here in 6th place, and Tattooed Freak is still all over the back end of Ibra here in the Mercedes. I lost track of what I was thinking of there. And it is Tattooed Freak starting to put the pressure. He was taking a little look there. He is trying to close in. So let's see if Tattooed is going to be taking a look here as we come into the final chicane. Maybe looking for a move coming into turns 1, 2, and 3. Is Freak? We'll have to wait and find out. But we're going to stick it on with these two drivers here as they come through. Of course, the chicane, the S's, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen. I call this the famous Trial Mountain chicane. And ooh, Tattooed Freak got a great entry line. Let's see if he can get the exit now and respond. And does he get the run on that Mercedes? He does. That Jaguar gets a great run. You can see him pull right up on the back end of Ibra. Is Ibra going to defend? Is Tattooed going to try and take a move here? No, it looks like these two are working together to try and open up the gap from Hair Razor chasing there in 8th place in that Mustang. And maybe that's a smart decision by these two drivers here. But you can see him, ooh, a little bit of dirty air there, a little bit of overspeed. Both drivers really leaning those bodies over to get those tires to grab that asphalt at these speeds. And great job here by these two drivers currently right now. We have Hair Razor here in 8th place, and he's having a good race here in that Mustang right now as well. Doug now back up into P9, so Doug's starting to make some moves here. Petrolhead, who's rounding out our top 10 here today so far. We got CRF in 11th, with Devious now back up into P12 here. And she's going to start putting some pressure on CRF here potentially, I think, very soon. We have Mike here in 13th, and it is Sikkim in Team BMW. And that is it. That car is most certainly done here today, it looks like. They just have not taken the time to put it behind the wall yet. They probably don't want to flag the race just to put that car behind the wall. It's not hurt nothing in pit lane there. So just Penelope in the lead still. She's been doing a great job. So we don't have a whole lot of history or background on this driver currently, but clearly she's very quick. Apex Racing's Pigham's here in 2nd place, and we have lots of information on this driver, and he's always challenging near the top of these races here in the GTRC, but he always seems to find himself just chasing that driver up in front, it seems like. Pigham's here as he just maybe some patience being played here. He did take a nice win last week, so maybe he's just playing that same strategy here and going to see if it can go 2 for 2 for him. Bufu Shadar, our defending champion here, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes around here in P3, so 2-time defending champion. He's definitely looking for a 3-peat here, but it has not been easy for him in that Ferrari so far this season. He's been racing well, he's been fighting well, but he just has not been able to really get the damage done in the standings early on. But much like last season, he started off slow and he finished off real strong. So this is about that point in the season where I think we see Bufu Shadar really starting to turn on the heat here. We have Apex Racing's Jakey here in 4th place, and he's having a cracking race here tonight as well in that McLaren. We've got that McGain here with Roses in 5th place, and he's been cruising around with that car here today. Tattooed Freak's now gotten around Ibra. He is in P6, so Freak has got the job done there, and he's now trying to open up a gap here on that Mercedes. But it's going to be a tough job here. These two have been really closely matched all race long, so I do suspect that Ibra is going to stay right near Tattooed Freak here throughout the remainder of this race. I could be wrong, though. We have Hair Razor in 8th place, and boy, he's flying in that Mustang. He's, like I said, he had 2 really great race starts here in the first 2 rounds this season, and just not the best result at the end of the day. Strategy costing him in one. Rain playing a big factor in the first round, of course, as we all remember if we watched it. Rain coming in, random is weather here in the series, so nobody really knows what to expect out of the weather model here at Gran Turismo 7, but rain definitely factored into that first race, and it definitely changed the way that race turned out as well. Doug here in 9th place. We have Petrolhead here in 10th. We've got CRF in 11th place, and there it is. Miss Devious taking a look up the inside of that Corvette. Now, the Corvette should have the pull on that Toyota, but again, it could be another one of those cars that might be struggling on the whole fuel thing and really does need to take it easy on how much RPMs he's keeping in that car to try and make sure that car gets around 15 and 15 laps here on just one stop as well. So strategy might be playing in for some of these drivers. I know he's definitely quicker than that, so. And we've got that 13th place driver there, Mike. He's sitting right in behind that. Genesis doesn't seem to have much of an answer at Trial Mountain here today, but he has picked up a couple freebies as well. So he did start on the back of the grid here today, and he's grabbed a couple of spots. So you can't be too unhappy about that as well. But that Aston Martin and that Supra right now in 1st and 2nd place looking very strong here behind the very capable hands of its drivers. So just Penelope absolutely getting a great run there, but Piggums, he closes right up, and here we go. We may see a battle for this position start to happen here. We're at the 45, we're at the 46-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen, so we got about 14 minutes remaining in this race, and I think if we're going to start to see the push from Piggums, it's definitely going to be in the very, very near future. Just Penelope clearly has great pace, so Piggums knows that he's going to have to work real hard to get around this driver, so the push probably does need to start sooner than later, and you can see Penelope's feeling the pressure. You can see her break that slipstream. She's going to move back over into that racing line, and that's the way they do it. Here we go. She's going to move it over again. She's just trying to break that slip, but Piggums is having none of that. And let's see what she does here as we come into the corner. She's just going to sit on the racing line, and Piggums is just going to tuck right in behind. He's going to get some clean air in that race car. Look for an over-under here, potentially. He does not stick his nose in there. He is being patient. He's just putting the pressure. He is filling that review mirror up with that super right now, letting her know, hey, I'm right here. Are you ready? Because I'm ready to fight for this position. And she seems up to the task here so far. So, boy, I think we're in for a good finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just get through our field real quick. Let's take a look. Let's see what's happening on the track everywhere else. It doesn't see too much happening. Mischievous has now gotten around that Corvette. All right, let's get back to this battle for the lead here right now. This is really the closest thing we have to a battle right now, and just Penelope had a great final sector there. She is just immediately over to the right side of that racetrack to try and break that slipstream from Piggums there, and Piggums is just not having any of it. He is ready to play this game, so we're here for, I think we're in for a good race finish between our first and second place driver here. It could end in absolute fireworks and the most amazing epic finish in GTR history, or it could end up in absolute utter tragedy and disaster. I guess we have to wait to find out. Can't wait. Love it. All right, so just Penelope, and Piggums has been better than her out of that first sector all night long. And Piggums had to get a little bit extra on the brakes there. He almost got into the back end of the leader there. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, Piggums is feeling the pressure. It's not any easier being that driver chasing either. You have to figure out how to get around that driver, and then you gotta decide when, where, and then you gotta hold that position. So I think we're gonna see about another 5 minutes of Piggums just put the pressure, apply the pressure, see how she reacts to the pressure, see if he can force her into a mistake. And I don't think if we see that mistake, I think is when we see Piggums put the loud pedal down, and I think we see what that Supra and that Aston Martin really can do against each other before the end of this race. That's what I foresee happening here. Piggums is just 100% making sure she does not get away. This is a good race in between first and second place here. To you guys, it might not look like much, but to me, this is an absolutely epic race finish developing in front of our eyes here. And this is two drivers trying to figure out when they're going to try and make the move on each other. This is two drivers not trying to make a single mistake, not even a tiny little mistake, because right now it could cost them. This is two drivers that are that grips on the steering wheel are a little bit harder. They're white-knuckled a little bit. The nerves, the heart pounding a little bit more between these two drivers right now. So there is a lot going on in the cockpit of these race cars. A great run there by Piggums and Penelope, and boy, oh boy, the lines and the pace from these two drivers are so similar. It's like they've trained each other how to race around Trial Mountain. Bufu Shidara right there in the distance in third place. I mean, he is not out of this thing yet either. A mistake made by these two battling, and that is positioned to potentially be gained for Bufu Shidara as well. So it is mounting up. Jakey just managing to stay ahead of Roses here in fourth place, but I think we're going to see something between these two before the day's over. We got Tattooed here in sixth. We've got Ibra in seventh. We've got Hare in eighth. We've got Doug, Misdevious, and Petrohead in ninth, 10th, and 11th. Misdevious taking a look side by side going into the hairpin. Doug's going to have the inside on the exit coming up the straight here. Let's see who gets the better run coming out, and it looks like it's going to be that Lexus as he's going to slot in front of Misdevious there. And Petrohead's going to take a slingshot run on Misdevious, but she's going to be smart here. Let's see what Doug does to control this now. He's just going to sit right in between the two of them, so he's not really giving slipstream to either one of those drivers, and he's kind of essentially defending against both drivers at the same time. So he's forcing them to decide what they're going to do here. Misdevious tucks in between the two of them, and it is battle on between this little group of drivers here right now for 11th, 10th, and 9th place as well. So, oh boy, we might see some battles before the end of this race is over. It's all starting to kick off. These guys are all starting to close in on each other. I'm rooting for the chick in the pink cargo, Penelope, sorry, Apex. Who's in Lexus? Doug Barrow is, Nick. Doug Barrow. Oh, and there we go. Piggums is up the inside. He got a great run this time, and they're almost side by side this time. And I think Piggums is just waiting for that moment. He's just waiting for that mistake, the opportunity. He is tucked right in underneath that rear bumper of that Aston Martin right now, and all he can see is pink bumper in front of that red Apex racing car right now. And oh boy, it is race on. We're at 51 minutes into this race. We have 9 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see 5 laps. We have 5 laps to go. Who is ready for these final 5 laps? Piggums closing up. He is working that Supra right now, trying to find a way around that Aston Martin. And boy, Jess Penelope is not making it easy. She is defending. She's going to take ahead and break that toe. She's going to go defensive. And Piggums ain't going to bite this time. He's just going to keep that car in a straight line and work on getting that speed. And there she goes. She tucks right back in behind it. He didn't even lose a step there while in behind that Aston Martin. So Piggums starting to play a little bit smarter here. He's not going to play these games, realizing swerving side to side is going to cost little minuscule amounts of time here on the racetrack. Could pay him dividends here. Here we go. This is a great cracking battle here for first and second place. I really don't want to leave it. The moment we leave it is the moment it happens. And Piggums, again, he's been better all day in that sector than just Penelope. So it is game on between these two. And boy, what a battle between just Penelope and Apex Racing's Piggums. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one finishes out, folks. Just Penelope is just absolutely running clean. She's just handling that pressure extremely well like a pro here. And there she goes. She's going to move over to the other side of the racetrack. She's going to try and slip that slipstream here. And Piggums is just like, yeah, I got you. Oh, and there we go. Piggums has got the run. He's going to finally see. Let's see if this goes. Is it Supra? Is it Aston? We're going to be coming side by side up the corner. Penelope has the inside track. That doesn't mean anything coming into this corner. This corner is very easy to make the move on the outside if you get it right here. And it is Piggums. He's just going to squeeze it real tight. And has he got the edge coming out? It's a drag race coming in through the S's. They're going to be side by side coming up in through the S's. And here we go. It is Apex Racing's Piggums for the lead, and now it's just Penelope tucked in underneath him behind his race car, and roles have reversed. So it's Apex Racing Piggums in the race lead here with 7 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. And wow, what a great job there by Piggums. He's been waiting to set that move up for a couple of laps here. He's made sure he's put himself in that position to make that move, and he took advantage of the sector that she was weakest in and got around her. So now let's see if she's been paying attention to where she's stronger than him, and see if she can do the same thing back here as we're coming around to start lap 27. Now, that little bit of a battle definitely has helped Bufu Shidara catch up a little bit there as well. That time has dropped by almost a second. So that was some great racing here by our leaders, but this is far, far from over. Let's get through the field real quick here. Let's see where everybody's at. Let's see where our potential fights are going to be. And it is Miss Devious now up in the 9th place, Petrohead in 10th, Doug down into 11th, Mike in 12th, and CRF in 13th. So we've had a few position changes in that back 5 as well. But this is where the fight is. This is where the cameras need to be here right now, as we have had a healthy battle here for the lead over the last 3-4 laps, and it's not going to stop until the end of this race without a question of a doubt. She is not going to give Piggums a millimeter of breathing space here now. And Piggums up to the challenge here so far. So role reverse is now Piggums defending from just Penelope, and we still have we're going to see 30 laps in this race today, so we got about 3.5 laps remaining here yet. So Piggums, he has some work to do. He has a little bit of defending to do here if he wants to hold just Penelope off for the next 3.5 laps. You can see, though, that Supra, he's starting to stretch the legs in that Supra, so maybe he did what he needed to do there. Maybe he saved enough fuel. He was in behind over there in the early part of the second stint, and he has now got enough fuel to start pushing that pedal down just a little bit extra. He did open up a pretty good gap there on that Aston Martin right there, but she's really starting to close up on him here in this sector, and this is where it seems like she's been stronger than him all race long and almost made contact with that wall there. That's going to cost time if you do that, so that was very close, and she is still right there tucked into that slipstream. But Apex Racing's Piggums is not having any of it. He isn't even letting her get close right now, as these two are tearing up this racetrack here at Trial Mountain for round 3 for the GTRC. Again, ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Apex Racing Team and GT45 Gaming, and all our visuals provided by High Pre Graphics. As always, absolute legend there, High Pre Graphics. We appreciate them. But the real show belongs to our drivers here today, ladies and gentlemen, and what a show they have definitely put on. And it's Apex Racing's Pigums to start lap 28 in the lead of this race for the second time today, trying to hold off just Penelope, who's led the majority of this race here today. Bufu Shidara closing in 3.7 seconds. He took 3/10 off that time around. Roses has gotten around Jakey, so Rose is now back up to P4. Jakey down into P5. We've got Freak here in P6. We've got Ibra in 7th with Miss Devious here in 8th. We've got Hairraiser in 9th. We've got Petrol in 10th. We've got Doug in 11th. We've got Mike in 12th. CRF in 13th. Sikkim retired in pit lane, and Badass's car in 15th there, in behind the wall as well here today. As long as Penelope stays in touch, I think she has the advantage. I don't think that you're wrong, John. I think she's in a good position here, but Pigums has done a spectacular job at really keeping that gap to a point where she can't fight back. Looks like Ibra was a bit loose. Hey, awesomeness, come on, Pigums. Gran Turismo 7, absolutely, brother. My Nissan Silvia turns times on that track, 315 horsepower 154.3. Nice, nice. Just going over things real quick, make sure we haven't missed too much here. We appreciate everybody tuning in, but we are getting down to it. We have 3.5 minutes remaining in this race. That's going to give us 2 more laps, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have lap 29 and lap 30, probably for the whole field, it looks like here. And boy, this pro lobby has had some pace today, and I think she clipped that wall. It looks like she clips that wall every time, and she definitely lost time there, so I think she might have just caught a piece of that inside wall there. And there is a little dent in that front fender there, so quite potentially that is the case there, but that's allowing Pigums to open the gap. It's 1.2 seconds. Bufu Shidara might have opportunity here, but he's running out of time in 3rd place. The Rose is trying to close in, but I mean 10 seconds and a 1-second penalty. That's going to be devastating trying to hold Jake off here. Freak, 22 seconds up the road here in 6th place, and he's had a good race here for Team Jaguar today. Ibra here in 7th with Miss Devious in 8th. We've got Hairraiser in 9th. We've got Petrol in 10th. We got a battle here between Mike and Doug for 11th and 12th place there. And Mike's going to look up the inside of Doug here, and he's going to get the job done. It's going to be a P11 for Mike there, and it's going to be down into 12th place for Doug. So Doug hasn't been feeling well lately. Maybe he's just starting to feel a little under the weather, and he's just not having... Ooh, just Penelope smoking the tires coming around that corner there. Hard on the brakes, almost locking that car up. And that's just going to be a more opportunity for Pigums to open up the gap here. It's 1.2 seconds. And I mean, we're on our penultimate here. I mean, we are almost done here today. This has been an absolutely crazy 1 hour of racing from our drivers here today. It's Bufu Shidara in 3rd place. And I think the battle for first may have fizzled here. I mean, it's not over till it's over, ladies and gentlemen. There's still time on that clock, so anything can happen. Bufu Shidara is in 3rd. We have Roses in 4th. We've got Jakey in 5th. We've got Tattooed Freak in 6th. We've got Ibra in 7th. We've got Miss Devious here in 8th. We've got Hairraiser in 9th. We've got Petrolhead in 10th. With Mike right there, and he's starting to put the pressure on Petrol, so Mike all of a sudden has just found another gear in that Hyundai. CRF now up ahead of Doug here as well, but he's gone wide, and oh boy, that's going to be collected. Is he going to collect Doug there? Yeah, he did. He ends up sliding out in front of Doug there, and Doug just slowing up to make sure he didn't spin him right around there, so great racing awareness there for Doug. And unfortunate there. It looked like he had the run on him there, but just a little bit of a mistake made by the Corvette driver there, and almost collecting Doug there. And Doug doing a great job at not finishing that incident off, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time there. So unfortunate, but great job all at the same time there from Doug Burrow there in P13. So it is Pigums here as we're coming around, and we're just keeping our eye on that timer, and it is going to be one final lap for the whole field here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there is a driver that won't get that final lap. Of course, 6 for 2 drivers not on track here to finish off today, but it is Apex Racing's Pigums. He's 1.8 seconds up the road here. Now, does he have the fuel? Does he have everything he needs to get it home? Does just Penelope have the fuel and everything to get it home? I mean, there is so many things now that could happen here. Bufu Shidara is trying to reel her in. 3.4 seconds. Roses right there on that straightaway as well in 4th. Jakey in 5th place here. He gained a ton of time with that 1 second penalty that Roses just had to serve there. Tattooed Freak coming around here in 6th with Miss Devious chasing in 7th. So pretty good recovery here from Miss Devious. She's now managed her way around Ibra as well. Ibra here in 8th place, but they're still close enough to battle this out yet before this is all said and done here today. We got Hairraiser here in 9th, and now we've got Petrol and Mike battling here for 10th and 11th place. So, ooh, it's spicy. It's spicy no matter where we go in the pack here today. We love spicy. All right, but it is Petrol here in 10th, and it's Mike in 11th. Both these cars have about the same amount of pole, but it looks like Mike got the better run, so he's going to grab that position. And it is going to be a final lap for some of these drivers. So Miss Devi is finishing in 7th, Ibra finishing in 8th, Hair Razor finishing in 9th, Mike in 10th, CRF in 11th, Doug in 12th, Petrolhead in 13th, and Sikkim here in 14th, and it's going to be Badass in 15th here today. So let's get back to the race leaders here who are on lap 30. So those drivers just didn't quite squeeze past that timing line just in time. So timer ran out, race over for half the field here. Let's get back to our top 6 and see how this all filters out. So it is going to be Apex Racing's Pigham's 2.5 seconds, and he doesn't have a whole lot of corners left here. So some good strategic driving and a good, healthy, clean, smart battle between him and just Penelope. It looks like he's going to edge this one out on top here today. But boy, oh boy, what a debut from just Penelope in second place. I got to tell you, fantastic job by her in her first race of the season, and that's some big-time points there for her. And it is still a Sikkim with fastest lap on the racetrack, however, so it is going to be Apex Racing's Pigham's for the race win here, and I think that's 2 in a row, ladies and gentlemen, for Apex Racing's Pigham's here, so good run there by him. Just Penelope very close in second, and Bufu Shadar just behind in third, flashing them headlights there. We got Roses just coming around here. He's got that final sector to deal with, and it's going to be a 4th place finish for Roses here. And boy, are his tires worn out, ladies and gentlemen. He has pushed that McCain to the limits. Jakey coming around here is going to be a P5 finish for the McLaren driver here today as he comes around. And that was some great racing here by every single one of these drivers. And teammate Tattooed Freaks just coming around that final corner to make his run to that checkered flag. And he's going to take home P6 here. On the way through, and our final driver to cross for that checkered flag here today is our 6th place driver, Tattoo Freak. So, wow, that was some racing right there, Jack. Congratulations to our top 3 drivers here, Bufu Shadara, Just Penelope, and Apex Racing's Pigham's, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, congratulations to the whole rest of the pack and behind these guys, because what a race that was to watch. By far the most action-packed, crazy race I've seen from this group this season is right here, right now. We just watched it live on GT45 Gaming in the Pro Division. I don't know what happened over there on the Olander side of things with that Pro-Am lobby, but if it was anything like this Pro lobby, we have a cooker on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen. The women drivers coming in, they are spicing up this series, and they are quick, and they are looking good. They are fighting fierce against our men competitors here. This is just a storybook season right now here as we get very deep into the season now. And we cannot say thank you enough to everybody that's gotten this series off the ground. So, we're off to a really big kickstart here at the GTRC, ladies and gentlemen. What a great race right there. And it is Apex Racing's Pigham's for the win. 3 positions raised. Fastest lap does belong to Sikkim, however, and Team BMW getting that car out just to finish up that final lap there. So, will be official a P14 finish for Team BMW there, and of course a P15 finish for Apex Racing's Badass. Unofficial. These are always unofficial, ladies and gentlemen. So, some great racing there had by all of the drivers, and that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy, intense race. Save your replays, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of work there in behind the scenes after this race. So official standings will be released usually within a couple days after the race time. So we should have those out hopefully for the drivers quickly. We'll see how busy the stewards are, of course, in the event of incidents. So the way this works, ladies and gentlemen, is now the drivers have 24 hours to report any of those incidents on the racetrack. That's why we tell them to save the replays, because they do need to provide evidence to the stewards of the incident. The stewards will review the incident. They will file their final decision on that incident, and then, of course, if all drivers are okay with the decision made, then it's said and done and over with. But there is an appeal process which these drivers are allowed to use as well. So they do need to provide, of course, again, footage for that appeal, and then, of course, the appeal process happens, and then that decision may be reversed or stood or changed or whatever the case may be. So that is the process here for both our Pro and Pro-Am divisions today. So I hope everybody really enjoyed a great Pro race here today, because that's definitely what we got. All right, so let's go hit up our podium interviews here for a minute while we wait for those drivers. to sort into the Discord here. So we may not see just Penelope for an interview here today, but we are definitely going to see Pigums and Abu Fushidara 100%. So all right, we're just giving them one moment there to pop in, and we do have our third and first place driver, which I did suspect we would see, so we'll start with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's click a couple buttons so you guys can hear our podium finishers to start off with. I guess that might help. Hey. All right. So, what a race! What a race! What a race, ladies and gentlemen. The front half of the pack was the quiet half of the pack at the beginning of this race, and then they turned up the action button significantly there near the end. But that mid pack, ladies and gentlemen, was just absolutely some intense racing all day long, and then drivers just swapping positions around, and it was just craziness out there. It was so much fun to watch. But at the end of the day, we can only crown our top three for that podium, and it does belong to, of course, today's set of drivers. Abu Fushidara finishing in a very, very solid third place, followed up by Just Penelope and Apex Racing's Pigum. So let's talk to Abu Fushidara, who we have here in the chat, and coming in as defending champion here in the series. How'd your race feel today? Looked really good out there, and just a little tiny bit off the pace of the front two drivers, but talk us through it.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be back after Barcelona. Race was okay. A few mistakes early on meant that I lost touch with Pen and Pigs. I wouldn't say I didn't have the pace. Unfortunately, I know exactly what Pigs was doing. He was sitting behind Penelope, saving all the fuel, which you can tell by the fact that he went a lap longer than both of us. And he was just quite happy plodding away. So when he did pit, he had extra fuel, so you could push that a little bit harder, which is fantastic driving. It's massive kudos to him. But yeah, just a couple of early mistakes. I couldn't save the fuel because I had Jakey catching me, and I didn't want him overtaking me because we would have just held each other up. So I ended up pushing in sectors, burning more fuel. So it was just unfortunate. It's mistakes on my side, nobody else's fault. That's really it. A couple of mistakes, and now that I've got two very close and quick playmates, it's very exciting, and all the mistakes get punished.
Absolutely, definitely, for sure. And we've seen that throughout the season so far. But I mean, this is the first round that we had a really packed grid today. And boy, oh boy, what a race it was, too. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it when you go back to watch it later. But it was a busy race for sure throughout the field. Now, you guys, like I said, you didn't battle too heavily up front. The front 6 or 7 group there early on, you just kind of chilled. You took it easy. You only really fought when you needed to because, as you said, you knew it was going to cost you time, and then that might mean the whole pack would come bearing down on you. So once you guys kind of got separated from top 6 through about 12th place there, what's going through your mind at that point? It's still early in the race. Are you just worrying about your tire, your fuel situation, your strategy? Or are you still trying to push to try and delineate that time gap to first and second place?
I'm sort of in no man's land. I couldn't push because I would have lost it out. I would have lost out in the second stint. But I couldn't slow down because I would have got overtaken, like I said, by Jakey. So I was sort of in no man's land. I was in holding position. Maybe I should have pushed early on and caught up with Pigs and Pen. So really, I'm sort of towards the end of the first time, I was kicking myself for not pushing sooner. But I don't know. It's one of those races. You lose touch. And like I said, kudos to the other two. They were faultless, genuinely faultless. Had no answer for them. They raced perfectly. So I don't know, a bit of frustration, I guess, but excited for the races to come.
No, I mean, we've seen this out of you in the past seasons as well. You start off a little bit slow, shaky, maybe just sizing up your opponents. Is that a little bit of what we're seeing here early on in the season? You're just kind of getting that car underneath of you. You're really getting it figured out, and you're sizing up your opponents. So we still have what, 9 weeks remaining in the series. So I guess what's your focus now moving into the mid part of the season as we head that direction?
Hopefully what you're saying is me getting used to the car. The Ferrari is very different from what I'm used to with the 86. That had a very strong end. This one, the Ferrari has more to understeer, which I struggle with. I don't like cars with understeer. So hopefully, what you're seeing is me getting to grips with the car. It's not the car's fault. It's just the characteristic. I've got to learn how to work with it. So not blame the machinery. It's all down to me. So yeah, hopefully, what you're seeing is yeah, like I said, practice, getting acclimatized to the vehicle. And thankfully, the lap times aren't too dissimilar from the guys in front. Even Sickham's lap time that he posted early on in the race, we've been doing that, me and Pigs, and even Penn, we've been doing those times and even faster in practice. So the time's definitely there. It's all about getting it consistently out of myself.
Absolutely, and I mean, I'm starting to see that this pro division really settle into their cars, of course, for the manufacturer part. So, how are you enjoying having never racing the same car? Essentially, every time you are challenging another driver, you're racing a different car, which means you're racing against that car's different attributes. So, how is that as you're racing around the track and an hour-long endurance race? Is it fun? Do you enjoy it? What are your thoughts on that?
I always enjoy the battle. The battle is more enjoyable than the racing for me, so I couldn't care. So was this lovely talking to you? If I finished last and I was battling with second to last the whole race, I'd love that. So, but to answer your question, the cars don't really make much of a difference to me. It's all about the drivers ahead and the ones that are driving them. So there's a few people here that I haven't raced with before. Jakey, he's quick, interesting character in the car, and I don't mean that in any way disrespectfully. It's getting to grips because all cars they have different characters with the drivers behind the wheel. It's getting to learn them. Pigs is very patient. He's not going to defend if he thinks that I'm going to gain more out of sitting behind them, saving fuel. Penn from the free practice that we've been doing, very quick, very competitive, which I love. Like I said, Jakey, he'll definitely send it down the inside of me. He does like pushing the car in front, which is fantastic. And the guys, obviously, let's not forget anybody else like Doug, Hare, and the other guys and gals on the grid. So it's just enjoyable. It's nice to have new people in. It's not being able to battle with new people at the front or even at the back. Like I said, it doesn't matter. It's just nice to have new people and fresh blood.
Yeah, absolutely, and blood is definitely being spilled here in this series early on. I think we are in for a pretty big, hot, action-packed series here all season long, ladies and gentlemen. The viewers were just buzzing all day long with that battling happening on the racetrack. So congratulations to everybody on the racetrack, including yourself, and a very nice, solid third-place finish, and hopefully the start to a three-peat for you moving forward. So shout-outs and thank yous.
To all the drivers and the viewers, it's always great to have a full grid, and that's exactly what we had today. I know Sick pitted early on and retired from the race. It looked like so. Don't know what happened there. We'll have to go back to through the stream to find out what happened there. Somebody else bailed out. Things bad as. Hope he comes back and nothing too terminal. Sponsors, of course, always nice to have them around, and the front two, the winners, Pigs in first and Penn in second. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oh, you can't hear me now. You can. Ha! All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we do not have our second place finisher here. I'm not. I kind of expected that. So just Penelope coming in second place. Now we don't know a whole lot about just Penelope. She just joined the community and the server over, of course, in between rounds. She's come in. She's done some racing with the group. She's joined up, of course, into the races. And boy, oh boy, are we glad to have her, because is she quick and is she fast and is she a clean, good race car driver? What did we see from just Penelope here today, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. We've seen a race car driver who understands strategy. We've seen a race car driver who understands fuel and tire awareness. And we also see a driver who also understands positional awareness. Now, unfortunately for just Penelope, at the end of the day, Apex Pickham's just did a little bit of a better job saving fuel and having more of his race car at the end of the day, and just Penelope, unfortunately, not able to respond against Apex Pickham's, much like he battled for that position near the end of the race. But not to take anything away from just Penelope in her debut, absolutely amazing race provided by her. That was some clean battling between her and Apex Racing's Piggums for that first place battle at the end of the race, and of course all race long. So congratulations to just Penelope. She did well in the BMW series last week. She did great in the GT4 this week, so can't wait to see what she has for us around 4 BMWs next weekend. Just a huge shout out to just Penelope. Absolutely fantastic racing, and I'm sure that when we talk to Piggins, if he's got anything to add, of course he will add into that. But she had a spectacular race there, and just coming up a little short to that win today, but a P2 finish in her debut here in the season. That's a great jump start into this very lengthy season here at the GTRC. So congratulations to our second place driver, just Penelope. Welcome to the GTRC, and welcome race fans. We got somebody else. We got a new player up in the top of these standings, so fantastic stuff. But let's talk to the man of the hour here today, ladies and gentlemen, in this Pro Division. It is Apex Racing's Piggums. He had a great race here today, and much like we've seen a lot from you in the past, you know, you just had a strategy, you had patience, and boy, did you play it to perfection today. You stuck that car in behind just Penelope, made sure she didn't drive away, made sure you were close when you needed to be. You got the job done, and took that lead away very close to the end of the race. So let's start there. You've got 3.5, 4 laps remaining. You just took the race lead on a driver who's clearly very quick and very understands defending and offense. What's going through your mind?
It was hard to figure out when to make that pass. Like I knew they were running out of fuel based on like basically once they pitted on lap 15, I knew the end of the second stint was going to be similar where the tires fall off and they were going to be getting close on fuel. So luckily I was able to get out of the first few laps pretty clean, and by the end of the race I was able to pit a lap later, so I had a lap better tires and just a little bit more fuel there. So it's just a matter of waiting for an opportunity, and I was pretty sure once I got around I was going to have enough fuel to stay there, but there was only a couple of places where I could actually get around and stay there without turning it into a fight. And Boo was close enough behind that if it turned into too much of a fight, he was going to catch right back up, and everything would have got a lot harder.
Absolutely, and I mean, just good awareness, good setup, good patience. Now, did you realize that, especially at the end of turns 1, 2, and 3, when you're coming into the tunnel, and then you come out of the tunnel up over the hill to start that very technical a second sector of here at inner part of the mountain, did you realize that you were better than her in that sector, and is that why you tried to make your move there?
I wouldn't say better. I think I was just maybe catching it a little better on average. When she got it right, it was there was nothing to be made up there. But that was definitely one spot where I was starting to notice as the tires wore, I was able to gain a little more and more there. And kind of seemed like it might be the spot. The end of the second straightaway was where I was hoping to make the move, because I knew I could in that last sector pull a bit of a gap there before we got to the other straightaway and hopefully be able to keep it. And just kind of lucked out, and everything played out well today. The luck was good, and they definitely didn't make it easy.
Absolutely. Now that's back-to-back wins for you here in the GT4. So how are you feeling about that?
I'll take any points I could get right now, because I know we're going to get to some of these tracks where the Super's not going to be such a good car, and so any points I can rack up early in the season are going to be good.
Absolutely. Now the points leader, Sikkim, here coming into the championship standing, he got a great race start, and him and Jakey were battling, and he made a mistake and fell himself off to the back of the pack, and then he really started battling his way through, and then it just all went wrong for that driver. Ended up putting that car in the pits. They had some kind of issue with that car and just got it out at the end of the race there, but feeling a little bit better now, gaining that really big points gain. I mean, there's no drop rounds here in this series, to the best of my recollection. So every point really does matter in this series. So how are you feeling about going into round 4 in 2 weeks' time now, knowing that you've really closed up or potentially even jumped ahead of them in the standings there?
I love the fact that I may have potentially jumped him in the standings, but I'd much rather do it in the case where where he gets to finish his race and we get to fight over it for real. But hopefully he'll have better luck in the next round, and we'll be able to duke it out again.
Well, I'm sure you will. I'm sure he will come back with a fury. Now, the drivers do have 2 weeks in between rounds here for the major championship, the GT4 series, ladies and gentlemen. So lots of time for these crews to take a look at the cars, hook them up to their laptops, get all the technical information they need to get out of these GT racing cars, and, of course, get them ready for the next racetrack. So it was an absolute crazy race. Now, like much I said to Boo Fushidara there when we were talking at his interview, when you go back to watch this race, you are really going to see a crazy race happening behind you guys. So that front 5 of you guys really broke free really early on. And I got to tell you, what a battle that was happening behind you, top 5 drivers all race long. And I'll let you guys decide for yourselves what you think about that battle. But it was a pretty crazy racing with this full grid here today. How do you feel about having all the different manufacturers on the track? There's not one of the same car on the racetrack. Do you think that changes up the way strategies happen here in each race, or do you think that it's just business as usual for the racers?
No, it definitely changes up the way you're thinking. Like for example, today, the car ahead was an Aston Martin, so I knew that with the big motor and that thing, as long as I stayed behind it and didn't give it a draft, then it was going to run out of fuel before I did. So that was kind of part of the strategy today. I didn't want to get in front until I was going to stay there, sort of thing. So luckily it played out that way, but that was definitely part of the strategy today. Was don't help, just let them burn the fuel, and hopefully you can have a little more left at the end to push by. A little lower motor.
The better race car at the end of the race here today. So again, sitting there at the beginning of the second stint, sitting just in behind that leader at a nice comfortable slipstream range, and just playing it cool and calm and collected here today, and another great strategy decision, bringing you home another great race win here. So we're starting to see a trend from Apex Racing's Pick'ems, ladies and gentlemen, and he may be the gentleman with the new target on his back moving forward here in this GT4 Championship. A massive race here for you again tonight, and of course Team Apex. Shout outs and thank yous.
Oh man, just all the boys that put it on, and all the Apex boys for all the practice and cheering it on in the viewers and everybody that watches, and yourself for putting it on, sir.
Well, cheers, and huge win here again for you today. Congratulations, and we can't wait to see what you got in BMW next week.
Excellent. I will look forward to the next race.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and appreciate all the time, of course, from all our podium finishers and our drivers here today. So thank you, all the men and women here on the racetrack today, participating, putting on just, an absolutely great show all week long here all day long here for the viewers and the fans, and of course myself, the broadcaster. So, race recap, we recapped it pretty well in the interviews. It was insane. Right off the race start, we had a couple of battles real early on. There was 3-4 wide through the early sectors for these drivers to sort themselves out to the positions, and the battles just didn't stop all race long. The front part of the pack really settled down. They got into their rhythm, they got into their mojo, they did what they needed to do to get their positions for before the pit stop. The back half of the pack, they had no remorse. They wanted to fight, they wanted to race, they wanted to battle, and race and battle they did. And that was some pretty crazy racing that we just seen happening there. So all in all, definitely lots to talk about here round 3 in the Pro Division today, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen all kinds of crazy action on the racetrack. We see some great moves. We've seen a great battle for the lead near the end of the race, and it was just all in all a fun day of racing here at Trial Mountain in the Americas. So round 4, whole new ball game, whole new set of trace, a whole new set of wheels, a whole new racetrack, and a whole new set of setups in these race cars to see who can stand on the podium in round 4 in 2 weeks' time. So thank you everybody for being here today. We love having all the viewers hanging out with us, and what else can we say? You're the real legends. We appreciate you. Sponsored by Apex Racing Team and GT45 Gaming, and of course all our graphics provided by High Pre Graphics, and presented by the Gtrc, the Gran Turismo racing community, ladies and gentlemen. So what else could I say? But much love to everybody showing the love today. Joe Mercier coming in with that thumbs up as well. We're just gonna see and catch up on anything that we may have missed real quick, and then we're gonna call it a race day here. Well done, drivers. Happy Pappy loves you. I appreciate you, Rob. Congratulations, boys and girls. Great race, says Doug. Absolutely. And it really was, ladies and gentlemen. That was fantastic racing from the Pro Division here today. And if that's just a taste of what we're going to see all season long, oh, we're in for a season. We're in for a treat. So some drivers have a good day. Some drivers luck not so much on their side here today. But round 4 is a new round. It's a new day, and it's a new race. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. On behalf of GT45 Gaming and the Winner Circle community, stay winning, ladies and gentlemen, because you all matter. We love you. We see you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you again very soon. Until the next time, ciao.